At Home with Lucas here. So today we're going to talk about the all-new Echo Spot. Yes, people, I finally got my hands on their tiny little displayed speaker. It's actually their smallest display speaker out there, but is it a true Echo display, or is it something completely new and something you may actually not want? We're gonna find that out in this video. So this thing is gonna give you the ability to control your entire smart home if you have that. It's gonna give you the ability to play music through the front-facing speaker, which is pretty cool. It has a tiny little display on the front that actually looks kind of comical, and it has that sphere look to it, which is something we've seen before with a previous Echo. I actually own that one. It was pretty cool. It was a full-blown circle display, but this one is only halvesies. Yes, the top is a display, the bottom is a speaker. It has microphones on top that are going to be able to pick up your voice, so you're going to be able to say commands to your Echo and control everything in your house, set timers, and do all kinds of other fun stuff. But is this thing limited in a way that's gonna make you not want to buy it? Is this thing being projected as a displayed Echo, but is it really? We're gonna find that out in this video. So in this video, I'm doing a hands-on with the box, quick unboxing and first impressions on said Echo Spot. After that, I'm gonna be putting this bad boy to the At Home Lucas test to figure out, is the Spot enough for you, or should you skip it altogether? I'm here for you, so I don't have to waste your time buying and returning. All right, let's go ahead and jump into it. Okay, let's take a look at this bad boy, and let's hope that this thing is not fully broken. I kid you not, this is how it came from Amazon. It was delivered by UPS, and it is completely beaten to heck and back. And I literally, if I turn this just on the side, and there it is. Right there. Okay, this thing is 100% used. That is not how Amazon packages anything. Someone bought this and returned it, and this is... What? This is not an Amazon unboxing. Wow. Either that or this thing actually like flew out of this box at some point, and then someone shoved it back in and just threw away some packaging. But this definitely is on the used side for sure. That is wild. All right, we're gonna make do with what we have, and then of course we're gonna return it because this is crazy. But let's continue on into this review. Let's get this thing, let's take a look at it. Okay, after wiping it down and blowing off as much as I possibly could, this is basically just a slightly larger version of the Echo Pop. So that was the Echo that was released last year with no screen. So you have 3 microphones on the top, and then you have your plus, minus, and your kill mic button right there. I do not believe there is a camera on this thing anywhere. The bottom looks identical to the Echo Pop, and the back of it looks identical to the Echo Pop. Very, very simple, very straightforward. So that is a half circle display with a little bit less than half circle speakers. So that's very interesting. A lot of people are already calling out the original Circle Echo and saying this is basically the predecessor to that. I actually bought one of those myself, but nonetheless, let's go ahead and get this plugged in. Okay, this is quite hilarious. That is not a half circle display. It's not even a circle display. It's actually just a rectangle, and you could kind of see it on camera right now. That is a tiny little rectangle display that they've slapped into this circle. That is so funny. So the original circle display Echo actually had a circle display. It was not a rectangle, and this is funny because that is a full-blown rectangle in there trying
Bring your device online. Just a moment.
And this is a whole new setup right here. I've never seen this before in my life. But let's back up a little bit. It's pretty cool looking, I have to admit. I am not mad at that. If they made giant circle Echoes with a rectangle display on the inside, but it had a full circle frame, that would be pretty cool. I mean, we just have so many devices that are all basically squared off and rectangle shaped, but this thing is really, really cool looking. I definitely like it a lot. right off the bat.
Your Echo is ready.
There it goes. It might be because it's new, it needed to do multiple updates. But yeah, this is definitely cool. I'm liking the look of it. That looks like the notification bar right there. All right, so it's basically just a tiny little Echo screen, probably the same size as a Apple Watch, I'm gonna guess, if I'm not being too picky. Oh, is it not touch? Okay, it is touch. Okay. It's not moving though. Okay, that's very interesting. So, right off the bat, that is a display that is touch, but it doesn't want to be interacted with. And the fingerprints are getting all over it already. This is weird. This is so strange. There are no cards. Okay, I'm gonna have to do some more messing around, but that is very interesting. Okay, let's talk about one of the biggest polarizing aspects of this displayed Echo is the fact that it doesn't act like all the other displayed Echoes out there. And the simplest way I can show that is, Alexa, play Netflix.
Here's Netflix. I can't open Netflix right now.
Okay, so it used to say something completely different, something like, I can't do that on this device. So this thing cannot do that. Let's go ahead and go, Alexa, open Prime Video.
Sorry, I'm having trouble. Please try in a little while.
Alexa, show me YouTube.
Here's YouTube. Sorry, I couldn't launch YouTube.
Yeah, so this thing is a displayed Echo that does not do any video content as of right now. So definitely take note of that. If you're looking at this thing like I was, like, ooh, this is a tiny Echo with a display. I'm gonna be able to watch my news. I'm gonna be able to do quick stuff while I'm getting ready in the morning maybe, or in the kitchen. Something that is gonna give you great audio and the ability to glance down and see the video. But no, this thing does not show the video. And I think that that's a big letdown, is they're making an Echo with a display that doesn't do displayed content. So that is one thing I want to get out there right away is do not buy this if you think it's going to be similar to an Echo Show. Okay, now we're going to be doing the microphone test, so I'm going to turn on my sync in a second and we're going to see if this thing can pick up my voice. I've gone ahead and unplugged all my other Echoes in the area, so they shouldn't be triggering. So let's go ahead and start that up. Alexa, what is the distance from Earth to the moon?
The moon is 251,800 miles away from Earth.
Alexa, current humidity. Okay, missed that one. Alexa, current humidity. Missed it again. Alexa, what's the weather?
Right now in Athens, it's 73 degrees Fahrenheit with mostly sunny skies.
Alexa, tell me a limerick.
Here is a number, a quintillion.
Alexa, is it gonna rain? Okay, missed that one. Alexa, is it gonna rain? Missed that one. Alexa, is it gonna rain? Very interesting. Alexa, is it gonna rain?
No rain is expected today.
Okay, so the first thing I'm noticing is if I talk straight out this way, it doesn't register my voice, but if I speak up higher and aim my mouth, I guess, up higher towards where the microphones are on the top up here, it seems to register my voice a little bit better. And the fact that these are all pointed to pull in sound from this way means they're expecting you to put it near a wall so the sound bounces off the wall and hits the microphones right there. There are no microphones on the front, which once again, big letdown. I wish there were microphones on the front. So definitely passed the sync test, just not 2 thumbs up, just 1. So one thing that this does not do, which I was completely shocked, is it won't show you your security cameras inside or outside your house. So if you have a baby cam like I do, you can't check in on your baby with this device. Alexa, show me driveway cam.
Sorry, cameras don't work on this device.
So that
If you have a Fire TV, please link your device with your Fire TV in the Alexa app to start using your camera.
So that is a huge letdown for anyone who has smart home cameras and has a whole smart home, this thing is not going to be able to work for you. One of the things that you can do, like it just said, is you can link it to your TV. So when you say that, it'll show up on your TV. Now, if your TV's not in your bathroom or your kitchen or wherever you have this, that's not going to work at all. So definitely a big letdown in my opinion. Okay, let's talk about the speakers on this bad boy. So these speakers are, or this speaker is actually quite good. It has some really good bass. It has some really good highs, mids, and lows. And it's definitely loud enough to fill up an entire room when you crank the volume up as loud as you can get it. Full blast right there.
What's the matter with my I walk 1,000 miles and more.
Okay, so is it 5 out of 5 in terms of sound quality? No, it's definitely not 5 out of 5, but it's definitely a good sounding speaker, and for the size and for the amount of speaker real estate that it has to work with, it's phenomenal. So if you're comparing this to some high quality set of speakers, it's not going to stack up, but this thing is going to sound really, really awesome. Okay, let's talk about, does this fit in anywhere? And I really think that this device can fit literally anywhere in your house. There's not a single spot that it's not going to look really, really cool and look really unique. And even inside of my fruit basket right here, you can see that this thing definitely holds its own. Okay, let's talk about visibility and display brightness. So this thing is not the brightest display out there, and it definitely can get a little bit washed out. I have it on the highest brightness setting you could possibly set it on. This thing is going to have to be placed pretty close to where you are. So if you want to utilize this thing, it's going to be a couple feet from you, maybe on your desk or in your master bathroom when you're getting ready in the morning. You can get the weather, you can get other things straight onto here, but there is definitely a solid glare factor. Okay, one of the biggest uses for these type of Echoes is probably going to be a bedside clock, bedside alarm clock, and the ability to actually do something really cool, which is Alexa, play rain sound. And this is actually how I go to sleep. Pretty much every night I have some form of rain sound going, but the main thing is going to be, can I actually quietly turn this off with my voice without having to touch the screen? So I'm going to try to whisper and see if it picks up my voice with this rain sound going. Alexa, stop. Okay, I just said it really quietly. Did not hear my voice. I'll say it a little bit louder. Alexa, stop. Still did not hear my voice. I'm going to say it normal. Alexa, stop. Perfect. Okay, so you're going to have to say it a little bit loud. You can actually turn this on whisper mode if you want to. So when you do a whisper, and there's my alarm to wake me up. So that is the bedside companion mode. I'm going to definitely give it 2 thumbs up for bedside companion. You can hit your snooze button if you want to. So definitely pass the bedside companion test. Really awesome. One of my favorite uses for one of these Echoes. Okay, I actually have this in my smallest sink in my house. This thing is a pedestal sink. It is very, very small, and somehow this fits perfectly on there. So let's go ahead and do the, I'm washing my hands, I'm getting ready for work, I'm brushing my teeth. Let's see if we can actually get some voice controls going while the sink is a-flowing. Actually, I want that to be off. I want it to sound like that right there. Alexa, what's the commute to Castleton Mall?
Currently, traffic to the Pandora store at Castleton Square Mall at 6020 East 82nd Street looks good. The fastest route takes about 27 minutes via I-74 and I-465.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Alexa, what's today's high?
Today, expect a high of 80 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay, it's doing a great job. I mean, this sink is not very loud, but that is a good companion. So if you're brushing your teeth, you're getting ready, you need to know your commute and whatnot, boom, you got that going right here. So definitely passed the tiny pedestal sink test. Okay, does this blend into a living room setting with some house plant behind it? Yes, I think it does. And one of the most important things about an Echo is, can it turn on your ceiling fan? Alexa, ceiling fan on. And there you go, just like that. You can actually see it in the background. The ceiling fan has turned on. So that is really awesome. And then, of course, being a smart Echo, you could say things like, Alexa, kitchen on. Alexa, kitchen off. Alexa, loft on. Alexa, loft off. Alexa, master light on. Okay, I've been using this bad boy for long enough that I think I have a full star rating. Let's just start off with the build quality. So this thing is built like any solid Echo out there. I really like the fact that you have this mesh on the front with a half Z display on top. That really adds a lot to the look of this thing. It definitely stands out. It's a sphere, but it's also not. So it's really quite interesting how they did this. And I'm hoping that this is kind of how they go in the future. I could imagine a large rectangle version of this. I could imagine maybe some other cool shapes that they could do that would look really, really awesome. So the build quality is standard, really, really solid, hard plastic Echo build. The display on the front is kind of comical, like I have been saying. It really is just to give you information and not have you really interact with it. So this thing is designed to basically be a non-displayed Echo in the sense that you're not going to interact with it through the touchscreen. You may, in timers and in notifications and in reminders and stuff like that through the touchscreen, but they really want you to use your voice. So if you think of this thing as basically just a regular Echo that has no display, then this thing is awesome because it gives you the time, it gives you the weather, it gives you the date, and then of course it displays a whole bunch of stuff straight onto the screen. So for that aspect alone, I'm gonna say if you're going at this as like an upgrade from a regular Echo Dot that doesn't have a display, this is a huge upgrade. You're gonna love it. But if you're looking at this thing as like my only Echo, I would say probably skip this and go with an Echo Show. That way you get the full display and you're able to actually utilize a lot of the content that's available through an Echo. But if you already have an Echo Show and you already have a displayed Echo that you do a lot of content on, then this is a great companion. If you're not looking to have a Echo show you videos and other things, then this one's great as well. So if you know the limitations and you know what you're buying, and I did my job, this thing is a great buy. I'm going to give it a 4.8 star rating based on an Echo, not on an Echo Show or displayed Echo. So high star rating for that aspect alone. Definitely worth your time, worth your money. If you know what you're buying, buy it. All right, there you go. That's the Echo Spot. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely click that like button. And if you want to join the Adam Lucas family and you want to be a part of this crew, hit that subscribe button and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.